What's up? First of all, yes, I know there's a Confederate flag on my wall. I've explained this in comments before, but, you know, I like flags. You see the flags? I'm not, you know, Norwegian either, but I got, right? Whatever. Anyway, I got flags, alright? I like flags, okay? I'm not supporting the former Confederate States. Alright. Sometimes you people blow my mind, alright? Sometimes you really fucking blow my mind, and it pisses me off. I'm not gonna lie. So this is talking more about this gun carry thing, okay? Let's look at this conversation, alright? So-and-so says, the guys respectively who carried the pistol and assault rifle probably carried it because they were going to show that there were going to be no special cases and circumstances where the Second Amendment was not applied, i.e. when the President is present. Why are you perfectly okay with the police carrying firearms in the public but not with your average everyday citizen? You know how many deaths occur by assault rifle every year? 3% to 0. I don't know what 3% to 0 means. 3% to 0 of all deaths, 3% to 0 of firearms deaths. Either way, if you're talking about firearms deaths, I think you're wrong. You could buy an AK-47 in Detroit for about $100 to $150. And if that's so easy to get here, I'm pretty sure that it's easy to get everywhere. And considering how many gang shootings there are, I think it would be safe to say that a fair amount of them are done with assault rifles. Even though the weapon that this man was carrying wasn't really an assault rifle, probably. And I already said that. Listen. I don't know how many ways I can say this, okay? First of all, I think that's bullshit, alright? But, alright, I'm a gun owner. You know this. You all know this. You've seen my videos, okay? I'm 100% for gun ownership. I'm 100% for assault rifle ownership. I think you should be allowed to have a fully automatic assault rifle. If you're a law-abiding citizen, I got no fucking problem with that, okay? I'm 100% for concealed weapons license. I think everyone should get their concealed weapons license if they're comfortable with carrying a weapon. If you're comfortable with carrying a weapon, you're of sound mind, and you aren't, you know, a thief or some kind of, you don't have some sort of criminal past, and you have the wherewithal to learn how to fire it accurately and all that shit, you should go get your concealed weapons license. I think the more people that got their concealed weapons license, the safer we are, okay? I like that, alright? I like the idea of thinking that somebody around me has a concealed weapons license in case some shit goes down, alright? I'm 100% for people carrying their weapons publicly if that's what the law says, alright? But what I'm against is the lack of common sense that's being shown in this situation, okay? Let's go back to the free speech issue, alright? It's very comparable. You have the right to make any joke you want, but would you go into a funeral for a cancer patient and make jokes about people dying of cancer? Of course not. Because it's your right, but it's inappropriate. It's sending the wrong message. You wouldn't do that. Would you do it just to prove the point that you have the right to do it? No, of course not. That's outrageous. It's ridiculous, and you know it is. You know, in the same manner, you don't go to a politically charged and angry rally where people have been burning effigies, somebody brought a tombstone with the name of one of the senators engraved on it. What is that? What message does that send to you? Like, what parallel universe did I enter where burning effigies, hanging effigies, and showing tombstones with people's names on it doesn't mean a death threat? Where the fuck was I when this bit of common sense changed? Somebody's going to have to inform me. You know, when you go to an event like that with a weapon clearly visible, what sort of fucking message are you sending? What is that going to be interpreted as? You know, and I said as much, okay? This guy with this pistol was standing on church property, private church property, which in the state that he was in, he was legally allowed to have his gun open, you know, out and visible, okay? But do you think the motherfucker goes to church every Sunday with his gun strapped to his leg like that? Of course not. That's ridiculous. Why does he Why does he need to prove the point? If he wants to prove the point, you don't have to flaunt it. He can carry his weapon concealed. That's outrageous. That's ridiculous, and you know it's fucking ridiculous. And, let's talk about this sign. This man was carrying a sign of a quote that calls for the death of tyrants. What tyrants? Who could we possibly be talking about? The people that are proposing. This is a healthcare proposal protest. So the tyrants are the Democrats or Obama that are proposing healthcare reform? So how the fuck else am I supposed to interpret that? How the fuck else am I supposed to interpret a quote that says the tree of liberty needs to be watered with the blood of patriots and tyrants? Does that mean something opposite? Like, where did we cross a line where the quote means the exact opposite? It means peace for all and love. No, it's ridiculous. It's outrageous. He's carrying an openly visible weapon at what is supposed to be a peaceful protest while holding a sign that's calling for the death of tyrants. Tyrants, in this case, in his mind, being the portion of the government that is proposing healthcare reform. How the fuck else am I supposed to take that? And I said this, somebody said, I understand, but his sign doesn't include the violent call to action part of the quote. Also in the interview with him, it made it clear that he was absolutely opposed to violence. The particular guy who was holding the sign in New Hampshire is a free stater, and they are against violence in all situations except self-defense. If he's against violence in all situations besides self-defense, why the fuck would he use that quote? That's what the quote means. Okay? Just saying the tree of liberty needs to be watered, taken out of context, means nothing. That's a nonsensical phrase. Only when you put it together with the quote does it make any sense. That's why he used that fucking quote. He might as well have just written the baby's, elephant's face. It would have been just as nonsensical. That statement doesn't make any sense unless you put it in the context of a revolutionary quote. Okay? And what he's doing is calling for the death of tyrants. He's calling for an uprising, a revolution. I said that. If he wasn't calling for the blood of tyrants, why the fuck would he use that quote? Unless he's just an idiot. All right? If he is just an idiot, he probably shouldn't have a gun in the first place. And somebody else said the guy didn't have the quote written down on his poster, probably because he didn't want the quote taken out of context like you're doing now. The quote means blood will be shed in the name of quashing a tyrannical government. It does not call for violence only for the sake of violence, i.e. give me liberty or give me death. You are not intimidated when a police officer holds a gun and they've shown themselves to abuse their power, but you're not okay with a citizen carrying a gun. I never fucking said I was not okay with a citizen carrying a gun. I don't like the fact that I say something and you take the exact opposite what the fuck I said. That's not what I fucking said, okay? Listen, what do you mean the quote was... He didn't put that part of the quote on the poster because it wouldn't fit. What do you mean taken out of context? That's the only fucking context it's in. If you take the blood of liberty, or the tree of liberty needs to be watered or whatever, out of the quote, it means absolutely nothing. That is a nonsensical phrase. It only makes sense within the quote. Unless you're going to say that he made up a new quote. The tree of liberty needs to be watered with sunshine and flowers and puppy dog tails. That's not what the fuck it means. He's calling for a violent uprising against a tyrannical government. At what point in the quote, whether the quote is calling for war for the sake of war or violence for the sake of violence is irrelevant. It is calling for violence. That's the fucking point. So what sort of message are you sending when you're holding a poster calling for violence, calling for blood, while carrying a weapon openly? How the fuck are you supposed to interpret that? Other than what's right there. Why would you be so fucking cryptic? It's absolutely outrageous, okay? Police officers are not the same fucking thing. But you know what? If I saw a police officer, holding a gun and holding a sign saying, I'm going to kill you, or I want to start a war, or I want to kill teenagers or some shit, I would be intimidated by that. That would be, unacceptable. Of course, he would be fired for that in most cases. It's not the same thing, okay? I'm not against these people carrying their weapons openly. I'm against them carrying their weapons for the purpose of intimidation, because I guarantee you that this cocksucker in, where was it? In New Hampshire or whatever? I guarantee you that this cocksucker in New Hampshire doesn't always walk around with this sign and always walk around with his pistol clearly visible on his leg. And I guarantee you that this cocksucker in Arizona that was carrying that rifle doesn't carry his rifle everywhere around him just to prove that he can. That's fucking ridiculous. If you can't see how ridiculous that is, I don't know what to tell you. Rights come with responsibility. You have to responsibly execute your rights, okay? You have to be logical. You have to think about what people are going to think about what the fuck you're doing. It's outrageous. I can't believe I have to even explain this or defend this position. I'm not saying these people should be arrested. I'm just saying if you don't want to intimidate people, if you don't want to send that message, don't fucking come to a protest where everyone is pissed off, burning effigies and displaying tombstones with people's names on them as a threat with a gun if you don't want people to think that you're trying to fucking intimidate people. Holy shit. I'll talk to you folks later.